Good morning. Good morning. It is so great to be here. And I'm hitting live in all the places, doing all the behind the scenes things that we have to do now to make all of this work. So as you get here, say hello and let me know that you're here. Why is my mouse not working? Oh, there it is. All right, I got to hit go live over here. Excuse me. All right, and now give me just a moment to pull this up on my phone. Because as you know, sometimes Facebook does not allow you to see the stuff, and I want to be able to see when somebody's here and answer if you post something, because sometimes it doesn't show up at all. All right, so good morning, and I apologize for being on here a few minutes late, but I was going to start this new exercise routine this morning, and then I realized that I have to watch these videos first and all this stuff, so I was doing all of that. Then I got on the phone with my sister, and all of a sudden I looked and I said, "Oh my gosh, I got to get off here because I got things to do." And so here I am. Better late than never, I guess. And I'm one of those people that I hate being late to anything. I'd rather be 30 minutes early than 5 minutes late. So a lot of times on a Zoom call, I will be there way before the host even gets there if I'm really anxious about being on there or excited about it, some better word. So I'll just piddle with things at my desk while I'm on the Zoom waiting on them to let me in. And so that's just the way I am. And like I said, I apologize for not being here on time, but hey, it is what it is, right? But I am definitely excited, and I will share with you. I'm going to go ahead and share the affirmation, and then I'll tell you where that came from. Hold on a second. Let me see if I've got any. Oh, I see. We got a few people over here on Instagram. Thank you for being here. And if you have any questions or any input, just put it in the comments, and I'll try to flip back and forth every now and then to see if I can see it. Because this begins in StreamYard and streams out, but it's primarily for the stand up and stand out community. So that's the one that I look at on my phone to make sure that I'm noticing all of their stuff. So let me grab this real quick. All right. So today's affirmation is, I am a believer in my worth, my confidence, and my greatness. The way I see myself is the way the world sees me, and I choose to shine. And the reason that came up is this morning, there's these random thoughts that come into my head, and there's a quote that I had heard, or as I don't know what it is. Anyway, and it says that people don't see you as they think you are. They see you as who you think you are. And so that's always felt very profound to me. And that's why sometimes you wonder why people are treating you a certain way, but you feel like you deserve it in some way. Maybe your boundaries are off, and maybe you've heard things when you were young that made you believe certain things about yourself. And we don't. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning. We don't do those things consciously, right? And so when I'm working with a client, sometimes I really have to help them dig deep into what's going on, because they keep having the same things happening, just different people, right? But the same results. And it all boils down to our beliefs and ourselves. Hold on a second. Let me have a sip of my coffee. And so that's why this quote, I guess it's a quote, seems so important to me. And I refer to it quite often. If I notice that people are treating me a way that I don't like, then I think, okay, is there something that I'm going through right now that is making me feel like that person? And Or is there some belief that I have about me that they're picking up on and I need to check that in, go inwards and figure out what is going on? And so I love this because this is a statement about how you choose to see yourself, and the world sees you that way too. And remember, anything that comes after the words I am is ultra powerful. And I know they say that over and over again, but it always bears repeating. And so I invite you, as you're going through your day, you notice how many times you either inwardly say the words I am, or you outwardly say the words I am, and what comes after it, because that is going to tell you a lot about what's happening in your life or what's going to happen in your life. And so just be more mindful. And so what I do sometimes is, if I catch myself with an I am statement that's very disempowering, and it happens, we're human, right? I know I am. Some of you may not be. I have no idea. I just saw this little thing about the aliens, so it's okay. Anyway, and I'll share it in a little bit. Anyway, pay attention to your I am statements. So here is a good one for today, and make sure you put it on your index card, the screensaver on your phone, the sticky notes, put it on your mirror with a chalk marker, put it on a piece of paper and stick it to the fridge, put it at the front door, put it somewhere that you're going to be reminded today of how powerful you are. I am a believer in my worth, my confidence, and my greatness. The way I see myself is the way the world sees me, and I choose to shine. Now, that statement, the way I see myself is the way the world sees me, that is regardless of what you see or what you think, they're going to see it. So it's time to start adopting some of these more powerful beliefs. Now, if saying the words, I am a believer in my worth, my confidence, and my greatness feels so out of touch, it feels like, I really like that to be the truth, but that's not what I feel, then you can say, I'm beginning to be a believer in my worth. Because then your subconscious mind doesn't say, well, wait, that's not what she believes. Because you're saying, I'm beginning, and you can begin here. Right? And I tell you this all the time because it's so important for us to be aware of what feels right and what feels off. And so if you create, or somebody creates an affirmation and you want it to be true, but every time you say it, it makes you even more aware of how it's untrue, then you've got to tweak it, or you're doing nothing. You're spinning your wheels. You're taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. So make sure. Now, whether it's coming from me or it's coming from someone else, or you see it on the internet or wherever it is, whatever the statement is, if it feels like it makes you feel sad that that's not true, or it makes you correct yourself at the end where you say, I wish it was true, but it's not. If any of those things happen, you need to tweak it so that it is more believable for where you are right this minute. Does that make sense? Let's see. So, I need my Jeopardy music. I really do. And it's funny, this morning when I was running in here to get in front of the computer and do all my stuff, because I created when I put the post up that it was going to be 5 minutes, that's when I started creating the affirmation, because it was like, I don't do it until I know what is in my heart and is wanting to be said, right? And so I always envision, what is the, oh gosh, I wish I could remember. All of a sudden, I can't remember the name of the movie with Tom Cruise when he was really young, where he runs across the floor in his socks and he slides over and then he starts singing. I sometimes feel like I'm coming in the door and I'm just sliding up to the computer and starting. That's a visual, right? All of a sudden, I can't remember the name of the money. The money. I know it's not easy money. I can't remember. But if anybody remembers, just throw it in the chat and let me know. That goes for you on Instagram too. If you know the name of that movie. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning. Good to have you here. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and share the journal prompt. Let me get it up here and let's see. Does it all go in there? Yay! Hallelujah. All right. So our journal prompt for today is, how do you see yourself right now? How do you see yourself right now? And then take a few minutes to write down the version of you that you want to see, you want the world to see, and start showing up as that person. Let's see, what does this say? Interesting that more people see me as a bright light and usually make a comment. I'm always surprised that is actually how I present myself without even trying. Ooh, I love that, Lynn. I love it. So deep down inside, you feel like the bright light. Beautiful. I can see that. I can see it. I really can. So remember what I always say is to have a journal or a notebook that you use specifically for these affirmations and journal prompts. And I'll recommend it, but you do you, whatever you want to do. Like I could make you do anything, right? The thing is that it really is beneficial to have a place that you can come back to and look and see the things that you've thought, the things that you've done or wanted to do. Because we're doing little imperceptible changes every day. Like a 1% change every day creates exponential growth, right? The thing is that 1%, like I've said before, is imperceptible in the moment. But one of the things that happens is like there's the only thing constant in life is change, right? So right here, this second, this is who we are. And as we really dive into this affirmation and journal prompt, we change a little 1%, right? And that becomes our new normal. And we do that every day. And so compound effect is that we've changed a lot, but it's been such a slow, steady progress that we don't notice it. We do not see the difference. And it's like they say, this is a horrible analogy, but I'll tell you anyway, and you've probably heard it. You can put a frog in water and it will be fine. And it could easily jump out, but you turn the stove on and it gets warmer and it gets comfortable and it gets more comfortable. And it could get out at any time, just jump out, but it's so comfortable in the warm water that it doesn't even notice till it's too late that it's done for, right? That's a horrible analogy, right? But it's the truth. That's the way I've heard it many, many times. The thing is that it can go both ways. We can be cooking our goose all the time with the 1% change in the wrong direction or the direction that doesn't serve us. I guess that's the better way. There's no right or wrong. We are who we are. We do what we do, and we don't have to be fixed. But if we choose to have a certain thing going on in our life, if we choose to have certain results, then we have to be more mindful about those things that we do and how we recognize it. Because when we don't celebrate the little things, it's harder for the big things to come. And so that's where this journal and this notebook and this journal come in. Because if you're writing down today, how do you see yourself right now? And you be honest, you write it all out, whatever you feel. And then You take a few minutes to write down who you want the world to see you as and start showing up as that person, and you write all that out. Then in 3 months, you can come back and look at it and you can see, have you been becoming the person that you wanted to be? Have you been changing inside so that it reflects outside? And you'll notice the things that in the moment you feel like, well, I've always felt this way. But no, no, no. I'm telling you, you don't. It just becomes such a slow progress that it just becomes who you are. And I will say, years ago, when I first became a health coach, that was my thing. I wanted to get to a place where I could just naturally be thinner. I didn't want to spend my whole life really having to do all this trudgery about, oh my gosh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And if I do that, then I failed. And I went through a long, long time of all of that, right? And what I was longing for was that 1% change every day. And I didn't understand that for a little while. And once I got to a place, now I'm not exactly where I want to be, but my body has obviously decided that this is it. But, we'll see. The thing is that I don't realize sometimes how far I've come until I look back at pictures of me a few years ago and I don't even recognize myself. So wouldn't it be really cool when you think about it like that? If today the picture that you take is this writing this journal down, and you write down how you want to show up, who you want to be, how you want to be perceived, the things that you want to do, and you write all that out. And then you look back in 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, and that's exactly who you are. But now you can see, it feels so natural. It feels like you've always been that way, but you can see there was a time that was what you longed for. And I saw a little meme one time not too long ago, and it was really cute. And it was, remember when you used to dream of being where you are now? And I do. I remember. And it's like sometimes you lose track of what those dreams were because you're becoming it all the time. I never dreamed that I'd be here with you now. That was not even on my radar. But as I started changing and growing and doing the things, then those opportunities showed up for me. And then here I am now. It wasn't instantaneous by any means. The thing is that as we're growing and we're really allowing ourselves to be who we really are inside without all the baggage that we've had throughout our lives, it's not that we're becoming somebody we're not. It's becoming who we really are deep inside. That's different, right? We're not putting on this facade, trying to be something that we think people want us to be. We're becoming who we would have been already if we hadn't had all the baggage to go through, to push to the side. Of course, on the other hand, too, remember, it's all the things that have happened in our life have put us right where we are. So all those things played a part in creating this magnificent place that we are this moment. But if you still feel some angst and you still feel some of those limiting beliefs kind of popping in, which, what happens as you grow and you become, yes, Carrie, thank you. And as you become who you want to be, there's going to be new little things that trigger, because you're going to get to a place where a limiting belief has kept you from that spot for so long. That's what you're working on. Beautiful, Carrie, beautiful. So as you're working on something and you're becoming, then it's like that proverbial onion layer, right? You peel back this layer and this layer and this layer, and you're feeling, ooh, this is feeling good. I'm liking this. I'm feeling comfortable. Now I want to do this. And suddenly there's another layer you got to peel off and you got to take care of. It's an ongoing process. It is something we all do as we're growing. And I, for one, want to continue to grow and become. I don't think I will ever get to a place in my life where I don't want to do that. It doesn't matter to me, how long something takes. Sometimes it does. It's like, I want it to be faster. And that's just normal, right? But the thing is, as long as we are staying true to who we are inside, and we have to sometimes really, really do some inner work to get there, because we created a human, us, from the things that people have said, the things that society has asked us to do or told us to do. And we've created this person that is not really who we are. And now it's time to really dig in and find out who you are, how you see yourself right now as you are today, not how you want to be, not how you used to be. Who are you right now? And really be honest with yourself. And sometimes being honest with yourself for this one thing can be really hard, because then you think, I can't believe I ever had a thought like that about me. But make a note of it, because you want to remember how you felt and how you saw yourself today, right here, right now. And like I say, you take your journal, your journal, your notebook, you put the date, the affirmation in the journal prompt, and you spend some time in total silence, quieting that mind chatter that happens to go on. Because if you're anything like most of us, and especially when you first start, you sit down, you start to meditate, and then all your mind's off and growing. And let me tell you, one of the experiences that I've had recently, and I've been doing this for a while, right? You would think it wouldn't happen, but it does. And so I was doing this practice where I used to do this practice a while back, and I could get myself deep into this meditative state by counting 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, I haven't done it this way in a while. So it was starting off at square one. So square one was you sit relaxed and you count backwards from 100 to 1. And when you get to 1, you would be more calm and relaxed, and you would go a little bit quieter, softer as you go down, right? And then each time, like, you do that for a week, and then the next week you maybe start at 75 and go down. So it's a progress, right? And I started doing this way before I became a hypnotist. And so as a hypnotist, I can do it a lot easier, but I just wanted to play with this. And I noticed that I would get down to like 50. And then all of a sudden I would realize that my mind was talking to myself about all kinds of things. And I couldn't remember what was the last number I said. Oh man. So I know I hit 50. So I would start again at 50. And then all of a sudden I'd realize that my mind was wandering again and come back. What was the last number I remembered? Oh my gosh, I might have only got to 45. Let me start at 45. So it was crazy to think that my mind was just going and going. And then I would suddenly realize I'm not counting anymore. I'm off in Wonderland. And then I would have to bring myself back. So I'm not saying you have to do all that. All I'm saying is that if you'll set the timer for 10 minutes and get in silence, but count your breaths, you can't have two thoughts at the same time. That's why when my mind would start wandering, I would stop counting. When I'd start counting, my mind would quit wandering, right? And so it's a process. So focus on your breath and count that. And if you notice that your mind's still wandering like crazy, the thing that helps me in that moment is I listen to the sounds of my room or the sounds outside or wherever, if they're out there, wherever, I listen to the sounds. Sometimes if I'm sitting here, it's the ceiling fan. I can hear the ceiling fan, or I can hear the hum of my computer, or I can hear the hum of the light. There's sounds that I can hear, and when I hear it, I label it. I say, "Oh, that's the fan. That's my computer. That's the weed eater outside." That, and you do that to bring yourself back into the moment, quiet that mind chatter, and then you go back to breathe in, breathe out. You do that for 10 minutes. And after you've come out of that, after 10 minutes, that's when you answer this question. How do you see yourself right now? Because then you've got your subconscious mind, your intuition, your guide voice, everything is working together. And you're going to have such a deeper conversation with yourself. How do you see yourself right now? Not how do you want to see yourself? Who do you think you see yourself as? Who do you really see yourself as right now? And be as honest as you possibly can. Do not judge a thing that comes out of your pen when you're writing. Don't judge it. Just write it down, because it's powerful stuff to come back and look at, right? And then after you've just brain dumped as much as possible, then you take a few minutes to write down the version of you that you want the world to see and start showing up as that person. Because deep down, that's who you are, or you wouldn't be able to want the world to see you that way. Does that make sense? What say you guys? I know you're at work, Lynn, so if you can't respond again, that's okay. I get it. What are your thoughts, Carrie? I bet you're missing Wendy right now since she's on her cruise. All right, I'm going to go back to the affirmation. I am a believer in my worth, my confidence, and my greatness. I am a believer in my worth, my confidence, and my greatness. I believe I'm a gift. I have talents. I have gifts. I have something amazing to share with the world, or at least to the people around me, right? You don't have to be searching out to change the entire world. Yep. Some people get stuck with that. Like, oh, I'm not powerful enough to change the world. The thing is that we create ripples. It's like, and I've said this, and it's been a long time ago, but you may remember, and just forgive me, but when I was, I don't even remember how old I was, but there was a commercial on TV, and it was for, it's about sexually transmitted diseases. So forgive me. But anyway, it was about how when you have a romantic partner, you're not just having sex with that partner, you're having sex with the partner that they had before, and that partner's partner, and that partner's partner. And it would show all these people up there, right, that you were having sex with because you were having sex with this one person. I know, crazy, right? But it was very effective. But just think about it. It's not a sexual activity, but every time you effectively help someone, perfect timing for this. Oh, good. Every time you help one person, and then they end up saying to somebody, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I now believe this about myself. This was very helpful. I now understand. And they share with somebody else. Maybe they send them to you, or maybe they just share on their own. You may never know the effects that you have in the world, because you don't see all of those past partners for the sex thing, right? But you don't see all the future partners that people are talking to. And you have to be, you don't have to, but it helps you to look at, you don't know the effect that happens. There may not be this wondrous applause for you. There may not be a stadium filled with people that say, yay. But there's a lot of people out there, because you said one thing to one person, their life changed too. And you may never know that. But isn't that good to think of? That every single time you step out and you share your gift or your talent with someone, just one, you're affecting others. It's that dropping that pebble in the water and seeing the ripple that goes out. Every time you have a conversation with someone and you help them, even if it's only you help them see how amazing they are, or how to go through a process that they've been trying to do and they haven't been able to do. Every time you help one person, the reach becomes so much bigger than you could ever imagine. And I, for one, that makes me feel so good. So to me, it doesn't matter if I go live and only one person shows. And it really doesn't matter if nobody shows. I'll still have the conversation, because somebody might want to watch the replay later. And I will say, there was a time that I would get so discouraged if more than one person didn't show, or I would get so discouraged if nobody showed that I just wouldn't do anything. I would just say, oh, not going to do it. But I don't do that anymore, because I recognize the power in doing this, even if nobody's there. Because you never know, when you post it out, who it affects. Right? I am a believer in my worth, my confidence, and my greatness. I choose to shine. And like I shared yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, we can shine greater and brighter and be who we want to be, and not fall prey to the average. Because if you're here, you are not average. You are exceptional. And it's time you owned it, if you don't already. So then back to the journal prompt. How do you see yourself right now? And be so ultra honest, because this is only for you. This is to help you see the growth. I have to keep telling myself that. Yes, yes. This is so that you can see how much you've grown, who you're becoming. So you can celebrate all the amazing changes in your world, in your life, in who you are, right? So take that few minutes after you've written all that down and just write down the version of you that you want to show up as. All right. So it's time for me to go. You have an amazing day filled with, wait, what? but filled with confidence and greatness. And I will see you tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Wednesday. Oh gosh, it's already Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I will do everything I can to be on time tomorrow. I promise. And I will see you guys later.